Oh, hey there. Good morning. So, 6 in the morning, and here I am. I'm thinking about some major things. Like, did you guys ever watch that Michael Moore documentary, Roger and Me, about like the dying cities in Detroit because Ford, took workforce abroad? I could be wrong about this, but and just how people are like left. It's like, oh, industry, we're gonna go get cheap labor elsewhere. Sorry. And just the juxtaposition, or it's not juxtaposition, or is it more like the striking polarity or paradox of like the extraordinary poverty and drug abuse, and depending on what YouTube channels you might be watching, you can see obviously like the Kardashians and the ultimate glamour of America. You can also see the kind of increasing unrest of people viewing these celebrities, aka criminals, aka who knows. But actually, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some dodgy deals that are gonna all come out. But so this sort of like overly materialistic side of America, which it's like 50 years ago we all bought it and be like, yeah, America, let's just shop and pretend all our problems are gone with the wind. Except your problems, you've just displaced them, and more and more people are aware now of the American foreign policy and how like so many wars have actually been incited and perpetuated by this foreign policy, where there's a few people like making money out of arms trades, and you just think thus they're actually inciting these divisive wars. It's like, remember, it's like the media is the message. One of the Mission Impossibles back in the Disney, the whole plot was basically the baddie created the problem so that he could sell everybody the solution. That's kind of like what we've been acting out, maybe. And then there's all just like different ideas. And I think somebody mentioned that recently about, do you remember learning about how to debate? And how like actual just like intelligent debate seems to be less and less possible, just especially because when we get triggered, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm triggered, I know that I'm done, because the trigger to me is always a signal of stuff that's coming up that I need to address, and then ideally, like, actually really being able to regulate and calm the nervous system. And I'm just hearing like it's like my higher self being like, MJ, crack on with the reading. I'm like, oh, I'm still rambling, but it's all good rambles. Look after yourselves, my lovers. To thine own self be true. Thine is the kingdom. Know thyself. It's all that. This is part of the I think, with organized religion en masse, is that when I was having a bit of a debate with a friend, and I said, ooh, be mindful, as in be mind of categorizing all people under that umbrella, i.e. under this type of person, right? Because I said this, often what we're being sold via an agenda of division, one, like what we're being sold isn't necessarily true, but it's what's the word? It's intentional. It incites divisiveness among people. All those people over there. Exactly. Like, that's how we've ended up perpetuating wars. We perpetuate wars by classifying a whole group of people as such. And as long as the other side can be like, oh yeah, they're less than, or they're this, or they're that. I mean, we've had war on drugs and war on terror. And we can see how much more war has actually been propagated via the war on these so-called things. But when depending on what angle you're looking from, you're like, wait a minute, who's the terrorist? I don't know. Because depending on where you live in the world, I would dare see there are, like, for example, I was flying home from Morocco many years ago, and I got to speaking to a girl in the queue, and she said something along the lines of like, yeah, I have fear of going to places like New York, just like some white women might have fear of coming to Morocco. And in my experience, I get both sides, and if anything, I would say that America's more dangerous, and yet we're meant to be like, yeah, the glamour, the Hollywood, the Hollywood, the money, when actually the economy is collapsing and gosh knows what's going on, right? So may peace be with us all, and also with you, MJ. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, let's do some cards. Happy to be here with you guys. Phil and I, here in the UK, we have had a glorious week, although I had a really cool gig in the other side of North Devon, basically. And we had this sort of beautiful yoga deck in the canopy trees. And it's school holidays now. And I was pretty good. It was an early enough booking that I hit the road and I was there within 45 minutes. But gosh golly, I took a wrong turn. Got swept up in the beauty of Exmoor. And then before I knew it, I was like, oh, fuckles. Oh, shittles. I think I'm headed toward Minehead. So I loop round back. At this point, I'm like an hour into my drive time home, realizing I've just got to go all the way back through the township. And at this time, holiday traffic has been like, holla, 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 holla. So I just literally sat in traffic. And my 45-minute journey became a 2.5-hour journey home. And at one point, I was going to go to the beach, but I was just sitting, sweating in my car, looking at all the traffic, being like, my little quiet balcony in the countryside looks just as inviting. Plus, I thought to myself, I can always hose myself down if it gets too hot. Okie dokie, let's pull a few cards. Hey, it's great. I like to get to know you guys here. I've been reading these daily reads since 2019, exactly 5 years, or just over 5 years now. And it's really to promote the brand, to get to know you guys. And of course, it's only when you resonate. If you resonate on the regular, you're welcome to book a private reading. You can get private pre-recorded readings for as little as £20. I think £20 is like the quick reading option, which is like 10 to 15 minutes or 20 minutes at the very most. And then £30 is a 20 to 30 minute reading. And then there's the additional £55 option where you get your 20 to 30 minute reading and an additional transit chart reading or analysis. So I look at the current planetary transits for your chart and intuitively assess and share the messages. Like a lot of us would have known that we had some big happenings in Taurus recently with the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction. We've now got Mars moving us forward. Jupiter in Gemini. We know there's going to be more and more and more information. And, that's something to be aware of. Like there's people around us, ourselves included, receiving information that changes the game for us, right? Changes people's perspectives. We're still seeing a mass exodus in corporate more and more people are going to be leaving certain positions out of integrity. More and more, main companies we're going to see being held accountable or going under, for example. And then so this is like intuition, reign supreme insight. So I've been I've been in this paradigm shifting reality mindset for many, many years, like over 2 decades now. And I've witnessed for this length of time, the dying high streets, the again, link back beginning of Cher, Roger and me. And I'm like, okay, so the dying high streets, and like, how do we adjust? And this is part of setting up our own online businesses, creating information streams and thus products and or services via the online platforms, because the sense I get is that corporations are going to start to change all the empty buildings on the high street, those are not like the world that we grew up in ain't coming back. That's, I think, the point. And as much as we can be like, oh, no, we're going to lose the highs, we're going to do it. And yet I don't think any one of us as individuals have that power to like buy up all those properties and give them back to the community. However, we do have that potential to, reach each other right here, right now, right here, right now. We have that potential, right? And then my hope from the holiest of all the holy goodness of the world is that that transfer of power can just be siphoned down to the smaller content creators that be sharing and caring and just want to give back. So because we've globalized, and now we kind of have to come back to the local, right? We have to come back to our personal beingness, and then because we all just talk shit, myself included. But I kind of think of it if like every single one of us became whole and self-responsible and healed, holla Shazam, then that self-responsibility would permeate into our local communities and our families and and thus, and then ding do do go show, and then everybody's doing that, and then suddenly it's like we can share and care and absolve ourselves of the military war complex because it's a piece of crock of shit. You know, it's pain, very few people benefit. It destroys whole entire fucking countries. It, you know, wipes out people and culture. And again, when you really pull on the thread and you understand how it works, it really, really only benefits like a few people who like are totally fine with benefiting off of war. I literally don't make sense. To love. Most of my life, I've just been trying to not be so fucking naive about the intensity. Although, you know, having a deep inner knowing, my only interest really is like the profundity and depth of this true healing. And how to actually do it, and what could potentially block us, but that's not for everybody, you know. And then also, like, as much as I can maybe pretend or sound like I might know what I'm talking about, I don't. Don't you be fooled, because everything's transient and passing, and it is a mystery, you know. And I believe in life after death and eternal life, but still, you're like, I'm still just often in awe of like, oh my God, I'm alive. Is there like some movie thing? Look at how cool is this. I've never pulled this card. Let's just have a quick scan. We're good to go, guys. We're good. Did I even tell you the date? Guess what? It's August 1st. Reveal the mystery. And part of this revelation is to not, I know. Okay. I know what it is. But then the knowing, like, limits the mystery. The knowing limits the knowing. The knowing makes... it stifles everything. If you don't know, you're like, whoa, what the heck? You all, there's some sort of healing happening. I'm sweating. It's just hot, and I don't know. It's morning time. That's all. I've fizzled out, you guys. 12 minutes in. I can't be bothered to read the cards. It's the weekend. Have yourself a Merry Christmas, you guys. Don't forget to take a break from being so serious. Give yourself a high five. Buy some stuff from Ultra Love, or tell your friends to buy some stuff from Ultra Love, or tell your friends' friends to buy some stuff from Ultra Love, because the more love there is in the world, the better it will be for everybody. Or, no, I'm not going to go there. Thanks for supporting the brand. I just spat. That's okay. We're here for it. If you are, you actually... Can you imagine if it was virtual and like you could actually feel the wet sprays coming through your face? Oh my God. Whoo! You're glad you're not in this room. Oh, this is a bit too personal, isn't it? Holy shit. Okay, but that's great. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with it. My face is too sweaty to keep looking at it. Have a great weekend, you guys. I'll see you on Monday. Take care and peace.